Welcome to the Silverstone Technology Cluster's Ask the Expert podcast. I'm Jeannie, your host. The mission of the STC is to support advanced engineering, electronics and software businesses, and we're always keen to share industry knowledge and insights. In each podcast episode, we sit down with seasoned professionals and industry leaders to uncover valuable knowledge, share real-world experiences, and explore smart strategies for navigating the challenges of modern business in advanced engineering. So this episode is brought to you by TC Group, a leading firm of accountants and business advisors with offices in Northampton and Milton Keynes. Hi, today I'm joined by Jack and Hugo from the Pod Collective. Hi guys.
Hiya,
Are you okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for joining me. It's nice to see you on the other side.
Yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking,
It is
if I'm honest.
actually, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the Pod Collective. Tell me about yourselves and why you decided to start it up in the first place.
Why don't you go first, boy?
Yeah. So we started a podcast called Graftcast a few years ago, and we were finding that we were having to go into London to get a proper studio. There was nothing really around here at the time for that. So we sort of decided just to make our own. We were spending too much money going into London, but then we decided, let's spend another 10 grand, 10, 12 grand and build our own here out of a shipping container.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those ones which, in theory, you're thinking I can travel to London because it's small things like we would have a shoot on. It'll be like in the afternoon. The session will be booked for an hour at a location in London. It's the whole day.
Yeah,
it's the whole day. Yeah. So it's kind of like this is not feasible. So essentially, it's kind of in how me and Hugo work. He's really good at ideas. Plus, his titles for things like names and stuff is pretty good. And then I kind of like
That's what I bring to the table.
Yeah. He tells me something. I remember literally I was at home on my iPad watching Peaky Blinders, and Hugo said, well, I like Peaky Blinders, to be fair. And then Hugo mentioned about, we can imagine doing it in a container, called it Podbox. And I was like, spoke to my dad. Then that evening we looked at multiple websites, found one we liked. Next day we gave him a call, booked it that following Thursday, and then we ordered it.
Oh, so it all happened really quickly.
Yeah. In the space of 2 months, we found it, looked at it, ordered it, bought it.
Brilliant.
You'll find that a lot of the stuff that we have done has happened very, very quickly. Like the Pod Collective is a year and a half old. And we've done all this stuff.
You kind of run before you've walked, right?
Yeah. Well, because it's saying this. So we started for like it's been a year since this. Okay. So it's actually been a year of 3 locations. Because the first half of the year was first 6 months was just literally just trying to do podcasts for businesses. Yeah. That's when we kind of pivoted and thinking, okay, businesses are inherently quite lazy, so we want to build locations for them because it's not accessible around here and around because even if you find not really around the general besides London really. Yeah. That's when we opened this. Then again, like we were discussing earlier, it's that kind of thing. We worked out what worked well and then what could work better. So then our next location was easier than this location. For example, the lights are already in the actual location, and then a new location we changed it up. So we know exactly what works now, but it's literally. It's one of these things where you can't physically do that without doing it. You're thinking like, I'll go to uni, I know all this stuff. I know, I'm going to swear then. I know nothing now. Like,
it's a non-swearing
so
podcast.
much more,
of course, yeah.
So much more now
than when I was
at uni. Like, you have to physically do these things to actually work out what kind of works.
Yeah, so you saw that sort of gap in the market there because I've noticed even when I was looking at studio space, there's lots of studio spaces available, but not with the full service that you guys give. Yeah. So you can go and hire a space, but you've got to take all your own kit, you've got to do all your own recording, all your own editing. And I think that's where people fall over because businesses don't want that. They want to go and just get someone to do it for them, right?
Yeah, and I think that's come from sort of both of our backgrounds. So I've got my own social media marketing agency and Jack's got his own production company. So I think that sort of end-to-end management and everything like that has really come through into this business too.
Cool.
So yeah,
as well as like just so much copious amounts of ADHD. So.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, this has all happened really fast. Like you started with one location and then you opened another one. When did you actually realise that it had legs, that it was actually working? Like what?
I'd say this one went down really, really well. Oxford, the following location, like the second one, it came up because we went door knocking there. And we just thought, that's a bit of graft.
Just give it a go.
It's to say that you've done it in the long run, isn't it? Really, you do all these things, but yeah, we were door knocking in Oxford, and that one came up. And if we're honest, it's taken a little bit longer to actually get going in Oxford. It's people have. Well, when we came to Oxford, it was very much a podcast is audio.
Okay.
And the video stuff was pretty new to them. So it's taking a while for it to sort of come across as, you know, we're doing video and audio for people. But to answer your question, the moment that we saw it sort of blooming, if you like, was when we opened and had our sort of opening day. There was, you know, it got really, really good reaction from people, and there was so much interest in this place and in the work that we'd done. So it was really nice to get that.
Oh, that's amazing. And what has been the biggest sort of lesson you've learned along the way? I know that you said that every time that you've opened a studio, you've learnt from it. You've done something a little bit different. But what's been the really big one?
Yeah, many to be fair. But one thing I always think about, and like we've both learned as we've gone along with this, being again too far. But I think sometimes like the best time to do something is last week. The second best time is now. The amount of time while we chat to people who are so capable, let's say videography wise, so much better than me.
Yeah.
But they're just terrified of what could happen. I think in life now, we spend 95% of our thoughts are worried about issues which never happen. Oh, I don't want to go and film today because I could crash. I could get a ticket. I might lost my SD cards. Just do it. And I found the same with this. I said, we know what we're doing. I said, just give it a go. Like we worked really hard in getting ourselves capital to be able to acquire places like this and do this kind of stuff. And I always said to Hugo, what's the point of having money? And especially in business, if you aren't going to do it to develop yourself, to develop your business, like you don't get any lucky stars or anything extra by being like, oh, well done, Hugo, you spent no money with the money that you sort of saved up. Well done. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of. That's what I said. That's what we kind of learned. Biggest lesson be just give it a go. Really, I think.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I think one of the biggest lessons that we've learned in putting this together, because I think we were a little bit naive when it sort of first came and the idea came along, and I think it's, if you build it, people won't just come.
Yeah.
We thought, podcasting is massive. You know, people are just going to,
flock to us.
They're just going to flock. It's going to be booked out. We were putting like projections on, like, this is how much we could be making a year. Like, and that's not the case. It really does need a lot of work in the background and a lot of marketing behind it. And I think people still think that nowadays, like now, like we've just opened in Bloxham, and people like that I know are already saying like, oh, it must be so busy. You know, podcasting's massive. Still takes loads of marketing and actually like selling it to people and stuff like that. So
yeah.
There's a lot in the background.
It's worked really well in the awareness has gone up a lot. Like I think podcasting is still in business. It's still really new, but it's old enough where people can see the value in it.
Yeah.
But it's just still getting across those individuals that is capable for them. So like that's why we're constantly, and the same thing with our services, how we've adapted with our studios, is that we're constantly trying to adapt, because to make it more what's the word again?
Capable?
No, what's the word? Inclusive.
Yeah, okay.
Inclusive for starter businesses to larger scale SMEs to even to big businesses.
Makes it as accessible as possible.
So that's what it is, and but it's getting across, because sometimes people think, oh, I can't afford that, or even because like, we do episodes from £99 now.
Okay.
But should I said that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Not sure we should be telling everybody that, but there you go.
But essentially,
we don't want to come across as salesy.
It's not salesy, but essentially,
but
we do certain things like to dip your toe in, because we chat to some people and it's like they know the importance of it, but they're like, this is like incredibly new for me. So we're saying we do essentially a starter service for people, literally just to be
have
like,
a taster.
just have a taster, see how if you enjoy it. We have lots of different services, but that's one of the areas which I've found just constantly having to like adapt in that kind of way.
Yeah,
because I think like you said, that podcasting is really new in the way that the kind of businesses use it. Mm-hmm. And what's the big misunderstanding that businesses have around podcasting? Is it that? Is it the accessibility of it?
Yeah, it's that, but it's also the success metrics. So there's a lot of.
He took your big word, didn't he?
So a lot of businesses think, well, why aren't I like Stephen Bartlett? Why haven't I got millions and millions of subscribers and followers in the first 2 months? and we're a bit sort of realistic when we come to a new business, and if we're trying to get a new business as a client, we're realistic with them. We think, what's your actual objective with a podcast? Is it to just get a load of content for the month? Is it to nurture a database? Is it to replace a newsletter? And it's just finding what that objective is, and then the other metrics will come. But you're not going to get the millions.
Yeah, to begin with.
Without
not all
a celebrity.
celebrities.
Yeah. Exactly.
And not everyone wants to listen to every podcast,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So like I mentioned earlier, I think there is a lot of podcast studio space available, but you guys are sort of an end-to-end service. What does that look like in practice? Like what's that actually mean when you're telling people
So,
that?
for example, I'll say it from the basic point of view. So, for example, businesses, they know they want something, but again, they don't have the knowledge, time, expertise, and vice versa. Like for us, if you want something done, just pay. If you can do it for us, I'll pay you to do it.
Yeah.
So essentially, for us, again, we start to chat to clients. We have lots of different meetings with them, just discussing what they want to get from it, what kind of ROI they're looking at, kind of what sort of they want with the actual service as well. Again, we also have strategizing packages, so to really deep dive into someone's podcast. But essentially, after talk to them what they want, book them in for a session. Again, when they come in, we have all the lights set up, all the cameras set up. We know exactly what they want to say and how they want to do it. We like to, especially when in our locations here and also other locations, we like to make sure they have coffees and drinks, feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, it is new for a lot of people.
Yes.
You want them to feel comfortable. So literally, that's what we get a lot of. Because I always like to ask for feedback after each client, and they're always like, "Oh, you made me feel very comfortable." And to us, that's really important. Film for the whole session, have a little debrief afterwards. We go away, edit all the content for them into shorts, to long form MP3 files, and then send it to them finished, all fully branded. So it's a full service of they know they want a podcast. They go to the Pod Collective. We do it all. Hand them the finished assets. So all they have to do is they pay, they post, and they're done.
Yeah.
So we try and make it as hands-on or as hands-off as we can kind of be, because business owners do not have a lot of time. So if we can make that time the most accessible for them and as time scheduling as possible, to us, that's kind of our aim.
Yeah, and I think like you said earlier, do they just want to get social media content for the month out of it? What kind of do you see as the big opportunities in podcasting for businesses now? Is it that kind of social media aspect? Is it let's replace the newsletter with a podcast? Is it a marketing tool? What are the big opportunities right now?
Yeah, I think really what I said earlier is quite a new thought for businesses, and I really think that we're still trying to get it over to people that it's not just for getting those vanity metrics. I think in the future, in the next year or two, you will see people just using it as a content machine. That's the name of our service. Or as a sort of nurturing a database, or replacing a newsletter or internal communications, or using it as a lead magnet. So people coming onto podcasts, you inviting prospective clients on there, building the relationship whilst you're talking to them, and then hopefully winning them after that.
Yeah, I was going to say, very good point now. I like that too. It's that kind of thing. On like a real basic point of view, I look at it like we've all got a story to tell. A lot of people say, I'm not sure what to say and things like that. You do. And again, there's so many over the years faceless businesses, and when people are spending money, I don't care if it's £100 to £1,000, they want to feel comfortable. So, and that's why it's so important with podcasting. You can really get because there's no point us now being like, yes, actually, we do this, and this. And when I talk, like, I'm a bit illiterate. I talk and I get mixed up. That's when I talk to people. I'm enthusiastic. I get excited.
Yeah.
That's how I am, and Hugo normally calms me down. But there's no point us doing that differently, because when clients see us on socials to real life, they can relate that. They think, okay, Jack looks nice, Hugo looks professional, and I like that kind of thing. They can already build that relationship with you and become a warmer client before they're even meeting you. So essentially, you're not always meeting someone, I don't know who you are, you're cold, I don't trust you yet. So that's why it's just so important. That's the basic point of view. Clients can start to get to know you without even having to meet you, and that can go such a long way.
Yeah, like you said, putting a face to a name. I mean, when businesses are trying to build their own podcast strategy, because you said that that's something that you offer, where do they go wrong? What are the big mistakes that they're making? Is it that they're trying to present in a certain way that's not relatable? Is that?
Yeah, I think so. I think they sort of they presume that straight away they're going to be getting all those, all the views and all the downloads and everything like that. And they don't actually approach it with any sort of strategy. And they just think, oh, people will be interested in this conversation, it'll be fine. When really you have to have a step back and perhaps look at like the segments that you're going to be using in a podcast, whether there's familiarity in there, whether there's gamification, which is one of our favourite words. So that makes it sound really clever, doesn't it, Jack? But things like that, you have to take a step back and actually look at the episode that you're going to be delivering.
Okay.
And yeah.
What does a client journey look like with you guys? Like from kind of very first contact till finished product. What does that journey look like?
So I'll say it from like an SME point of view. So normally what happens, say again, the client wants a podcast, not sure what to do. So what normally we have a first conversation, just discussing what they kind of want. From that we can gauge, okay, they don't know who they want to talk to, how to talk to them, how to structure it, how to even do the podcast. That's fine. So then we have our podcast launch pack with our ex-BBC presenter. Essentially, from that, we literally just deep dive into what they want to do. I'm not trying to sound salesy with the word deep dive.
Yeah.
Literally work out exactly what they want to do. And afterwards, they feel buzzing and they know actually what they want to say. From that, we book their actual episodes in and with their guests, run through everything we've already discussed and they're feeling really confident in what they're doing.
Yeah.
After we film everything, we go away, edit all the content to what they want, to all their branding, again with the shorts and all their content. So they know for that episodes, it's all fully done. So we send them the content. We can either post it for them, which we do for a lot of them, to be fair.
Okay.
So obviously then, we get all the...
You just take everything out.
Yeah.
Just take everything away from them.
So, and that's just duplicated.
Yeah.
So they know in the whole series-wise is that we're covering everything. Again, we like constant communication is key. The constant communication to see if they want things changed. And obviously then we go to, a lot of time we go to their location, to London and to different places like that, or they come to us. So we try and make it so all they have to do, just turn up and talk to your guests because you know them. That's all you have to do.
So when you're dealing with so many different clients who want different things, how do you make sure that each episode and each piece of content that you put out really aligns with their vision and their kind of strategy?
So that comes in the strategy side of things. So essentially, in our launch pack, we'll go through so basically Nish, who is our ex-BBC producer, has a kick-off call with them. And he will just ask them all the questions about their business, find out everything that he needs to know. And then from that, he will put that into a deck, which then we will present to them. And we'll have a workshop with them and work through exactly how that's going to look, how their podcast, the themes, the music, everything the segments, everything, the gamification, love that word, everything that they need to know about what their podcast is going to look like. It's all,
and then what makes it different is it's all fully catered for their business.
Yeah, so it's not a one size fits all. You're really everyone is different.
To be fair, Nish, he's busy with it because each one's you can't use the same thing because like one of them's for like a company in that the pub trade, to other of them does logistics, to other of them does finance. You can't do the same thing.
You can't do a one size fits all.
So that's why it's just fully catered for them. It's very personal. I mean, when obviously we build a strong relationship with the clients because we're talking to them and working out exactly what they want.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to hear. Do you have any like particularly interesting stories about like a client that's come to you, not really know what they wanted, and actually it's come off as really successful? Because I mean, that's the stuff we want to hear about, isn't it? Yeah,
so the Veteran UK, should I say their name? Yeah, well, go on.
Oh, I've seen these episodes, yeah.
So the Veteran UK, they were a magazine. In fact, they still are a magazine, and they were completely print. And basically, I know them through working with another client with my other business. And essentially, they came to us. I messaged them, to be honest, but they needed to sort of digitalise and wanted to do a podcast. And basically, we've created this, the Veteran voice for them, and it's really kicked off. It's really, really done really well. People are asking to be on the podcast all the time.
Oh, wow.
It's veterans that have come out of the military, and it's their transition into civilian life. And it's really, I think it will end up helping a lot of people who are struggling at the moment, probably who are still in the military, and want to leave and don't quite know where to go. So it really is helping a lot of people.
Yeah, and they've just finished season 1, got season 2 books, and there's actually other clients as well. I won't mention names. I'll just discuss. Yeah, other clients where they've one of them's big in like the franchise industry, and again they wanted a podcast, and obviously we met at a show, and then just, even by talking on a phone call for literally, I left a voicemail. It led to, because they wanted it.
Yep.
So many conversations, and from that, obviously, we're just, a lot of detail, but essentially we booked a 12-episode series, gone doing a lot of stuff not in this country with them now as well. And it's just the first thing they say, well, after we'd like to try and get testimonials if we can, see if people are happy. The first thing they said was how comfortable we made them feel and how we got everything sorted for them, that's kind of what's worked, and what's really nice for us to hear, to know that we do know what we're doing. It is really working, and we are offering a lot of value to people.
Yeah, I think it's really good to get that feedback, because it's one thing getting feedback, but it's another thing actually doing something with it. And I think it's really good that you guys get it, you take it on, and you're trying to be better. Yep. I mean, what would you say is your point of difference? What makes you different from other podcast production agencies?
That's a good question.
What really sets you out?
Me?
Yeah. Jack sets you out then. Okay. That was easy.
It's him.
No, I think, yeah, what we just discussed, I think the difference is there are, for example, so many videographers out there, so many social media managers out there, so many studios out there. But with us, for how we spread ourselves with locations, for our services being different, like we don't care about getting these millions of views. They come. Yeah. And I think with our services, to kind of like that, they grow your business. And that's not just saying that. For example, like the internal comms one, for a big company who we work with, that makes a huge difference. Yeah. I said, being able to talk to your team, and what, because we have other businesses with staff, and I tell when we got into that, I said, I'll try to say to the team, like, if we don't have team members, the business doesn't run, and we don't get paid. So that's really important, and that's what makes us different in that area with the services. And I like the personal touch of how we can really help people about, because obviously everyone wants to make money, and we all want to make money. But at the end of the day, I said, if someone can come to us and they leave being happy, to me,
You've done your job.
That's done the job correctly.
Yeah. I'd say also the quicker ROI that we can get for businesses, and the fact that we are business orientated as well. So like we are literally, we target businesses. Businesses is who we prefer to work with. You see a lot of podcast agencies that try and get influencers.
Yes. And
it's, for us, we've always worked in B2B, and that's sort of where we want to be, I think.
Okay, so that's your focus. And what kind of businesses are the best fit for working with you guys at the Pod Collective?
Boring.
Boring was. Yeah.
You're trying to make the boring less boring, right?
Because we chat to a lot of accountants and stuff like that, and I said to him, I was like, what you do.
Nothing against accountants, by the way.
Yeah. I like to explain that after I say boring. Yeah. Is that we need them.
Yeah.
But so we can't not have an accountant or have in the financial industry and things like that. But it's just getting, because they are really interesting people.
And I think I have this a lot. A lot of the STC members who come on the show are, solicitors. They are accountants. And maybe what we're talking about is not the most interesting stuff, but actually it's useful. Mm-hmm. And it's what people need to hear, because everybody needs to hear, how they can save some money on their tax, what they might be doing wrong, when they're trading overseas, all of those things. It's really important, but it's hard to get people to go, oh, actually, I'm going to give 20 minutes of my time and I'm going to listen to that. And I think that's your challenge.
Yeah. And I think with accountants and people like that, probably the best structure or format for them is through testimonial. Yeah. So like you have that angle, that you can take, but it's more about the guest than the actual accounting, and you can sort of relate to it. You can relate.
Almost got through.
Yeah. You can relate to it through the people that you bring onto the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
True. I think what works really well for people, which it's really, some things you think, oh, like everyone should know. You have these thoughts saying you should know that, but they don't. It's that kind of thing where we have a lot of clients who are very new to it all, and when they're talking to the camera, they get all nervous and say the wrong things. So I'm like, I did it with the client yesterday. I said, just talk to me.
Yeah, you just forget. You forget that everything's there, right?
The camera's there. The camera's there. I'm not even looking at the camera. Yeah, we're just having a conversation. And literally, I said that. And the last 5 shoots they've done that, and they've all finished being like, oh, so much more comfortable. And we smash through all the work straight away.
Yeah.
And that's such a big difference. And that's what we try and do with all of our content. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Because people resonate with the conversation.
And I think I had that, when I first started the podcast, I'd never done a podcast before in my life. And I was very conscious that the camera was there. And now when I have guests come on, they're like, oh, I've never done a podcast before. I've never done this. And I was like, it's really just a conversation between you and I. There's, you forget about everything else.
That's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really just a conversation. And like you said, it puts people at ease.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and your characteristics can come across easier in a conversation as well.
When you relax.
Yeah.
And that's when people are from people, but that makes such a big difference. I will say to people, like, when it comes to podcasting, you could have two businesses, okay? Both, but let's say accountancies. I think this is the right word. Let's say you got Keith and Dave.
Yep.
Keith's a dick.
Yeah.
But Dave knows his stuff. They both do. They think, oh, Keith's a dick.
But I actually like Dave. He's really nice. Yeah.
And that's the difference.
That's what it is. It is putting a face to that business and making it relatable in some way, because we're all just people, aren't we?
Yeah.
And people buy from people.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, this has been really good to get you guys sat down and have Jack on this side of the camera for once.
God.
Thank you so much for joining me. I've really, really enjoyed it. And I hope you have too.
Yeah. Thanks for having us in our box.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love the pod box. It's my favourite place. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. That's it for this episode of Ask the Expert. Thank you so much for listening or watching. We hope you picked up some useful insights and inspiration along the way. If you enjoyed the conversation, please give us a like, share or rating on the platform you're using. Please follow Silverstone Technology Cluster on LinkedIn and subscribe to the STC YouTube channel or our podcast on Spotify or Apple, so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you, so if you have any comments, a particular topic or a guest you'd love to hear from, please drop me an email to Jeannie@silverstonetechnologycluster.com. Bye for now.